Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of EverydaySuccessHabits.com. Now today we are going to talk about something that is definitely near and dear to my heart. We're going to have a conversation about dealing with difficult times, dealing with difficult circumstances. You know, this is an ongoing conversation actually that I've been having personally with myself and with others for a while. I mean, it's something where I think when you're dealing with circumstances, well, let me step back. When you're being successful and you're moving forward, you realize that success is not a straight line endeavor. Like most people who are actually successful would be the first people to tell you that success is not a straight line endeavor, which means that almost by definition, if you are successful, you've dealt with some adversity. You've dealt with some challenge and some issues and some stuff that's been going on, and how you deal with that, how you're able to deal with those difficult circumstances, and some are bigger than others, okay? But how you deal with those difficult circumstances to a large extent is going to directly correlate with your ability to be successful. Now, today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to take a little bit of an energy perspective on this one, okay? And here's the deal. So it doesn't make a difference what the circumstance is, but let's just say for sake of discussion, you're a business owner and you were going to get a deal and it didn't work out, or you lost a client, or maybe you didn't get a promotion if you work at an organization, or maybe at home, right? You were talking and you got into an argument with your spouse, or your kids aren't working out for whatever reason that particular day or night or whatever. There's some type of issue that took place, okay? It doesn't make a difference what for this conversation. And what happens is there is a negative emotion. There's a negative energy that builds up. And I'm not going to get into this whole energy conversation right now, but just for the sake of discussion, understand that our body is made up of obviously things that we, don't see, can't see, and energy is one of them, okay? And what you put out is what you get back. I believe in that. That's really just a law of attraction, by the way, all right? And what happens, though, is you ever run into somebody where you're like, boy, you know what? That person just felt cold, or that person felt warm, or boy, she was really easy to talk to, or boy, he really just seemed like he was so closed off and angry. That's the energy that you're feeling, all right? So when you have a negative situation, let's say, again, you have something happen to you at work that, you're not happy with. Something didn't work out, deadline missed. One of my favorites that happened to me recently was saved work that you thought was saved and didn't. You ever have that? That happened to me twice in the last 3 weeks. Okay, so you have something that elicits a negative emotion. Here's the deal. In order to move past that and to deal with that difficult circumstance, you have to release the negative energy that actually is now stored up in your body. So let me unpack that a little bit. What happens is people, they have something happen to them. Again, for me, I had some saved work that I didn't save. Okay, some unsaved work, I should say. And I didn't save it. I thought I had, but I didn't. I came back and I'm like, WTH. Right? I am like, oh my goodness. Now, once I realized that I didn't save it, because it took me about a few minutes to realize that. Now, that negative emotion is in there, like that energy state is in there. Now, what most people do is they try to just work through it. They're like, okay, well, let me just power through it and let me just, push through it. Or other people, they yell or throw something out the window. Some people walk away and try to, and then, pretend a few minutes later it didn't happen or whatever. All of those are fine. But here's the way that I do it. None of those respects the actual action that took place or the associated energy with it. All right. What I do and what I tell people, they should really consider is you have to disperse that negative energy. What you do is you take it and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so annoying. That was so frustrating. That was so, stupid that I didn't save this work. And you attract it. You're like, well, hold on, Brian. That sounds like you're attracting the negative. You're dwelling on it. Right. You want to feel that. I can't believe I did that. You're not like yelling at yourself, but you're like, gosh, that was so annoying. And then you disperse it. You hear how I did that? It's a nice deep breath. And Deb actually talks about this. She actually uses the release, release, release. What she'll say is release this energy, release this energy. Now, for me, I'll actually do, and I think Deb taught me this too, now that I'm thinking about it. I will be like, I will breathe in and I will literally push the energy out. Like if you were to see me, you would see that I'm like, and I kind of like I'm doing a bench press. I don't know for I don't know if you're familiar with that, but like you're doing a bench press, when your arms go down, your elbows go back, and then it's like you're pushing out. Like, again, you're pushing out with a bench press, if I'm making any sense, okay? And I will do that. I'll go into a quiet part of the house or the room or wherever, sometimes in the car if you don't have a place to do it in the house. And you see, it doesn't take like 28 minutes of that. It takes like 3, 4, maybe 5 times. Depends how traumatic it was. Like, I remember I got into an argument with my dad one time, and it took me like a half hour to release that energy, okay? But, like, depending on how traumatic it was, you gotta disperse that. Now, once you disperse that negative energy, you have to think of it as like that, like it's stored up in you. Once you disperse it, then you are in a much better framework to be able to do something. For me personally, when I did the unsaved work that I thought was saved, I did that for about 3 or 4 minutes. It wasn't that much. Like, I was upset, but not like 20 minutes. And then it's like, okay, let's go do it again. Boom. Went right back, sat down, knocked it out because it was still fresh in my mind. That was the other reason I did it right away. And I just knocked it right out. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? So when you're talking about rising through adversity, when you're talking about dealing with difficult circumstances, one of the first things that you want to do is once the circumstance actually happens, is you want to be able to disperse that right off the bat. You want to feel it, emotionalize it, capture it, and then almost like put it into an area and let it go. And it's through that. And it sounds basic, but next time it happens, next time you have an argument or an upset or an issue challenge or whatever the case may be, I'm telling you, give that a shot, give that a try, and see if that doesn't work out. All right? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's something that you can see yourself doing. If you would like, as always, feel free to like, share, or comment below. We love to hear from you. I personally handle any comments that come up, and I love hearing you guys' thoughts on that. Or swing by our website, everydaysuccesshabits.com. That's www.everydaysuccesshabits.com. We've got all kinds of good stuff on there, and I'd love to see you there. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.